This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded September 15th, 2014. Episode 216. Obdurate, Onepercenter, Obstacles.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
It's just us again.
Yeah, man.
A couple of weeks in a row.
Yeah.
With all our guests dried up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know, you and I travel so much these days. It's, more these days. It's hard to remember to schedule guests.
Me? Travel much?
Well, you weren't traveling. I guess you were at,
I was on holiday, which is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of which, my mum just went on a holiday. She's going on one of those cruise boats.
Oh, yeah?
Right? And she was over in Perth, over in the other side of Australia there, on the west coast. And she was on the boat, all checked in, ready to, depart. It was like 4 hours away from departure, and the captain comes on, attention, please. The boat is going to have to go to dry dock in Sydney because our propeller shaft is broken.
That's fun.
Sorry, but your holiday is cancelled and ruined. We'll fly you home.
Whoa.
And 2,000 people got off the boat and flew home. Yeah, oops, before it even started.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they check that kind of thing before you get on the boat? I don't know.
Well, because like a month ago, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something, before the cruise, they sent us an email update saying the ship, we're cancelling this port and this one because the ship is going slower than usual because of it, and one of the, I don't know, how many engines do they have? I don't know. But anyway, so some engine failed or something, so they were going to go slower. So, okay, the trip's still on. Everything's fine. Then we get another email saying that, there's been on the current cruise, there's been an outbreak of stomach flu, and the ship's been quarantined and has to be thoroughly
disinfected.
Thoroughly disinfected before we get on. So there'll be a delay in getting on. So, and they finally get on, and they're about to depart, and
Wow.
Wah.
Yeah, I've never done one of those. I've always thought about doing a cruise, but lately there's been so many of those things. I mean, like, they're amazing logistically, right? I mean, like, they have entire
they're
power plants on board, and like the amount of engine control they need, and they have all those stabilizers and crazy stuff.
It's a self-contained city, and
right.
It's amazing. And my mum got back this morning, called me up and said, somebody on board the ship was complaining, one of the, people on board, one of the guests was complaining that, their, roof was leaking water or something like that, and then I went, geez, and then I thought about it for a minute. I went, there's probably 2,000 cabins on that ship over like 13 decks. Imagine how much plumbing is on that ship.
Yeah,
How many plumbers they have running around full time, and, sparkies, electricians, just running around fixing stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The amount of wiring and plumbing and infrastructure on those ships must be insane.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like the one, I forget that one, it's like this Seven Seas or something like that. My friend actually went on it. Is
that the world's biggest one or something?
Yeah,
I think
it's like a pair of them, and they're like super big. But
yep.
I don't understand that scale. I don't.
Yeah,
like, you really need an ice skating rink when you're going on a cruise ship to a tropical location.
Yeah, because it's boring as batshit. So you got to have all this stuff. You got to have water slides and theme parks and casinos.
I guess so.
To keep you entertained and spending your money while you're stuck on this boring boat with nothing to look at but bloody ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, at least you didn't get on the sick boat. That's good.
No, or they didn't take off. They didn't take off, and then So but apparently they have to tow it back to Sydney to Garden Island, the dry dock. I used to work at Garden Island.
What's that? Oh, is that where you worked at the
short stint? Australian Defence Industries. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Garden Island. That one didn't even make my resume. Has anyone else out there got jobs that they just didn't put don't bother putting on their resume because they didn't stay there long enough.
Was
Me,
it,
hand up.
You chose to leave, or something else happened?
I chose to leave. Yeah, I chose to leave. Yeah. Didn't like it.
Yeah, sometimes those things happen, but I think that's the way to do it. Just say, oh, yeah, no, I was between jobs for a month.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
I think I
stayed there like 2 months or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly how long, maybe 3 or something. But yeah, it wasn't that long. And it's not long enough to put on your resume, because people might ultimately ask, why did you leave?
Right.
It sucked. I
hate boring, stupid work. Is that an acceptable answer?
Right. So, anyway, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but yeah, it was a great place to work though, because Garden Island is a fantastic facility. So
is that outside
apart
Sydney?
From that, no. No, that's in the centre of Sydney.
Okay.
So it's back in the middle of the Sydney CBD. And it's all surrounded by park, and it's all secluded, and it's just it was nice walking there from the train, and so I got to walk through the botanical gardens, walk along the harbour foreshore every morning. It was great.
Yeah, so, I bet your walk's terrible now. So how was electronics? How did that go?
Electronics, it was excellent. Thank you for everyone who turned up. Quite a few people said they listened to the Amp Hour and they liked it. They didn't watch my blog, but they listened to the Amp Hour, which is fine.
Really?
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, well, I understand, because they don't have time to watch video. Right?
Oh, okay, so just the format difference.
Yeah, the format difference. That's, why we started this thing, because it's, it's a different format.
Right.
Yeah. So...
And I saw you put that on the booth as well. I saw that the Amp Hour made the booth. The
Amp Hour was on the booth. Yep, there you go.
Very nice.
So you can brag that the Amp Hour had a booth.
That's right.
No, but it was good fun, and long day. Have you manned a booth before?
Not at a trade show like that. I've walked a lot of trade shows, but I've manned booths at career fairs, but never at a trade
right,
show.
at the fairs, yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably very similar thing. You're just standing up all day, and you don't get a chance to eat or drink, and you're just shaking hands, and yep. And
did you get any of the ones who kind of walk by, and they're just like, oh, so what is this?
Oh yeah, totally.
And I get that at certain things, but my one example, because I really like pointing this one out. So after Keithley got bought by Danaher, I got to go recruit with Tektronix at MIT, and I'd never done that before, and I was really excited about it. It was awesome, right? Getting to go to MIT.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show, I think.
Oh, did we? Did I mention how the person walked up and said, so, what are these things? And I'm looking at an oscilloscope, and I'm like, you're at MIT, and you don't know what an oscilloscope is?
What were they? Even if you're a physics major or something, you're going to know what an oscilloscope is.
I'm guessing it was a software person,
a computer science software.
Something
person.
Like that.
Yeah.
But, it's just,
right.
Oh, illusion shattered.
Yeah, exactly. No, the big hits for the show was my microscope and the 1970 vintage core memory. That was
I didn't know you took
many
that.
People. Yeah. I took it as just a thing to show off with my scope. So and that was very popular.
Definitely. That so how have you done videos about the core memory before? I don't remember seeing that.
Yes, I've done a video on the core memory.
I'll look those up afterwards then.
And spoiler. I might have another one, a bigger, badder, more awesome one in my mailbag.
This one needs a forklift.
I haven't seen it yet, but
yeah.
Speaking of forklifts, I am contemplating, how we talked about this 6 months ago. I was thinking about moving the lab to a bigger lab. Primarily so that I can, have somewhere to just bring big stuff, and maybe do some big stuff tear down. And,
that's right, because you had mentioned maybe getting a milling machine and stuff like that at some point as well.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So, and I looked around. It was very expensive to move office. It was, it was crazy
Sydney,
expensive.
Right? Yep, Sydney.
It's Sydney. It was like $370,000 to buy, something suitable. Right?
Right.
Seriously. Yeah, right, and that's like 100 and
That's like well over twice what my house costs. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, that's half the cost of a house here.
I know.
So,
I know.
Yeah, but this is a fairly upmarket, business park area. It's not, I could get 5 times the size for half that if I had to drive 30 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Out west somewhere, right? But so I thought about getting something like that, and then I thought I'm already renting this storage space, right? Because I got so much crap, and from home, from this and from home as well, because our house isn't very big, and the wife doesn't want to move. So, I got this. I'm paying this, and I thought, well, why don't I just pay for a bigger storage space, one that actually has, you can drive up to, you can bring a forklift after you, have a roller door and everything else. And So
I think this is a terrible idea, by the way. I don't.
Why? Why?
I think expansion in general is good, but I don't know about you, but my junk fills the space that I have.
Yes, our storage room is already full on the floor area, so we have to go racking now.
Yeah, right. And then once that's full,
exactly.
and it's just like, as you buy more things, like,
I know,
there's space. I could fit it. And like I have, like, even just in my basement, I just have, it's stupid stuff, right? It's like old boxes from when I buy equipment.
Yeah, totally.
It just breeds this level of
I
laziness.
might have to reship that one day, so I'll keep the original box.
Exactly.
And it's so nice, and it's got the correct molded foam and everything.
That is exactly the thought I had, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do that. I can't buy a bag and fill it up with like expanding foam and just form it around this thing that it's the exact same thing they did. Yeah, I have to save it. No, dear. I can't burn that.
Oh, boy.
So, that's the only thing I would worry about is that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. Because, like, I can probably afford, like, a single car garage kind of, shape.
Yeah, like
it's got like a roller door, and it's about the same depth. Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things. So, so you could actually drive a car in there. So it's kind of that big. Which is probably big enough, but it doesn't. The killer, the place I'm at the moment, doesn't have power in there.
Oh, right.
Right. That's that's almost a showstopper.
Be absolutely terrified of. It's like not heated or cooled either, right? I'm guessing that.
No, that's right.
In my mind, I'm thinking of Dave going to the storage space to go pick up a meter that he needs to do for some teardown thing, and then like opening it up and it's just full of spiders from Australia, just like
right,
like ceiling to floor, just spiders.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Just
yikes.
Take that big knife with you, your big male opening knife.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing is that it's kind of hard to justify the extra money because, like, I might use it a couple of times a year for a big teardown, but apart from that, it's an expensive storage space, right? It's
Well, why not just
so it's hard. Like, if I think about just the one video, okay, or 2 videos. I'm going to do a couple of videos a year where I use this thing and I shoot the video in there and all that sort of jazz, right? And and how much is that costing me per video? Well, quite a lot, right?
Well, maybe this brings up a better question of why don't you just get rid of more crap in your current space? I mean, like, what is...
Oh, well, no. See, the problem with the current space is I am in a corporate office tower, right?
Oh,
and
so you want the dirty, loud, grungy areas, you're saying.
And a big roller door and somewhere where I can get stuff delivered, and then the forklift, if I get some big piece of machinery that I want to tear down, right, it'd be nice to have it delivered, and there's a guy there with the forklift, you can, he'll lift it off for you and just dump it inside your roller door, right?
Well, that sounds like that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I just have to pay for it, right? It's just a matter of forking over money.
No,
I'm
just thinking of like, so you'd have to then maintain a space where you could then dump the next big thing. And how would you then move the next thing over? You know what I mean? Like,
well, once it's torn down, I throw it away in pieces, right? That'd be the, I guess that'd be the idea.
Okay, so this is mostly for big teardowns, you're saying?
It'd be mostly for big teardowns,
I see.
So if the opportunity comes up, I would maybe.
The junk garage.
But I don't know. I'd end up getting it and then never using it, so I'm forking out 2.5 times more for this big space.
You know, that would be really great. You know those shows where they bid on abandoned storage spaces like that, like Storage Wars?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I've seen that.
I have to say, if you ever abandoned yours and you left all that crap in there, they would be way surprised.
What the hell is this?
I bought all this stuff and it looks technical. But we're going to call this a wash. We lost all our money.
Yep, exactly. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do there. Sigh.
What about, I'm sure that there'd be, a ready and willing reader or listener, watcher, whatever you have. What do you call your fans?
Yep. Viewers.
Who'd be willing to donate some garage space out in the sticks somewhere in Sydney. I don't know. If you're going to just do it once or twice a year, maybe that's the way to do it.
Well, yeah, see, that's the other thing that also, right, if I'm only going to do it a couple of times a year, why don't I go 30 minutes drive away?
Yeah.
Right. And get somewhere huge and dirt cheap or just plain dirt cheap, right? And then just use that, right? Why does it have to be, 5 minutes away?
I think that's the way to do it. Then you keep all your everyday stuff close by, and you make some jaunts out to the country. To the country!
So, so I should keep my little storage unit here because that's nice.
Yeah.
See, and the other thing I like about it is that it's got a concierge service.
Yeah, okay.
Which means somebody signs for things, right?
Right.
So you can have stuff delivered, and there's always someone there to sign for it, And then I get a little thing on my phone saying, boop, boop, you have a package, and
that's always magical. I mean, no matter how you get a new package.
It was great for our holiday because we're all of a sudden we had to buy 10 things because I was ordering stuff for the trade show and everything.
Yeah.
And the wife was ordering stuff, and we got 10 packages, sent there, and it was so handy.
Nice.
And that's one of the things I've missed since I've started working for myself. Is that having somebody there to actually sign for bloody packages? Yeah,
you ever had it where they say that they left it or that they rang and they left a note, and then it's I've been here the whole time. What? Oh, you guys are just straight up lying now.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't even knock; we just sort of walked by. And,
right. Yeah, they do that at my house because there's dogs, so sometimes they'll just drop and run and be like, "I don't want to knock on the door." Think I'm a wimp.
Yeah, you don't want to knock on the door. In America, someone might open the door and shoot you.
Yeah, seriously. Guns, America.
That's a total risk, just like giant spiders here. Or,
right.
Kill you. Yeah.
The spiders shoot people there? Jesus, they're worse than I thought.
No, they walk around with big knives. Oh, goodness. Anyway.
Well, I just got back from the land of the hipsters, where they don't knife you, but they tell you about their vinyl collection and the different flavors of
and they show you
espresso.
Their new gold Apple iPod Watch thing.
Oh God, yeah, we didn't even think to talk about that crap.
No, let's not.
Blah blah blah. Everybody saw it coming. Yes, end of story. All right, cool.
I don't think anyone saw the Sorry, no, I'm talking about it.
We could talk about it a little bit.
Well, the gold. I'm talking about the gold version, which costs $2,000 or something. I think there's a gold version. They're trying to take on Rolex and all those, which is $1 billion industry, right?
That's stupid.
It's that that high end luxury watch industry is it's huge. It's worth a lot of money. So it really doesn't surprise me that Apple went after that.
My only real exposure to that kind of high end stuff is listening to hip hop songs about talking about fancy watches, and not a great reference point, but all I can think is I can't believe people wear that much money on their body. I know it's status symbol, blah blah blah, but I just get I get titchy when I have my phone in my pocket, or wear Google Glass. I was oh, Jesus, why did I do this? I've seen so many things fall.
Well, yes. Speaking of yuppie walking around with your Google Glass.
Yeah, well.
Hipster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know. I do have like a luxury kind of watch, It's a high-end, chrome-plated that the wife got me as a present, So I wear it to special, she makes me wear it to special occasions,
I'm going to try and work the 1% into the title this week somehow, Dave. You're talking about how, I have to buy this fancy real estate and my Rolex watches, blah, blah, blah.
Right, for the 1% of occasion that I use it. Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, isn't everyone's lab filled with test gear that they're only going to use 1% of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, that's everyone, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So I think we live in the land of 1%.
Maybe. So you're a watch person, though, so you actually give a crap about this.
I love watches.
I don't care. I'm never going to wear a smart watch.
Although I hate smart, I don't mind the concept of a smartwatch, but I do not absolutely want a watch that I've got to charge every day.
Yeah, right.
I'm sick of charging my goddamn phone.
I know.
Let alone a bloody watch. No, it's, so it's like... Okay, if it got 3-month battery, or a month or something, maybe I might be happy with that. But, they don't, because they're bloody connected to everything, including your bloody kitchen sink and toilet. And, it's horrid.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to charge their watch? It's just stupid.
Well, some people will, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. The sensors are always the interesting stuff, I think, because really the commoditization of certain types and like how they worked in that sport thing. That was the one thing I was interested in. How they had like I think it was was it IR sensing? I mean for
for heart rate.
Yeah, like blood oximetry and stuff like that. Yeah, thank you.
Pulse oximeter or whatever. Yeah. Sure.
I thought they had something like that, and so that's interesting seeing how that's going to work.
Meh.
But I mean in general it's meh, right?
No, I can stare if I want my heartbeat. I can stick my finger up to my neck. It's not bloody rocket science.
It will be interesting when they start syncing up your phone to your watch, and then Facebook displays an ad, and then they measure how much your heartbeat increases. Like if you get excited.
Don't give. Well, they've probably already thought about that, right?
Probably. Oh yeah. Actually, I had an idea about that for
metrics. It's all about.
Maybe I mentioned on the show before, but it was like, you ever use Spotify, the music service?
No.
So it's like an actual thing you download to your computer and you play it off, kind of like iTunes, basically, but it's all streaming audio. But the interesting thing was that when it was playing an ad, if you hit mute, it could sense that, and then it would pause the ad, right? And then it wouldn't, you had to listen to it, but then you could turn your speakers down manually, that kind of thing, if you really wanted to.
Right.
But then I was thinking about the next level of abstraction but the next level of like creepiness with that would be like, you could use it, but you have to use then connected headphones, which can then sense if they're actually on your ears, right? So, or sense like skin connection, like through capacitive sensing, and then it has to be on top of your head, and the volume has to be up, in order to actually hear the advertisement. That's like the ads of the future, where they are sure that you're going to be.
Oh goodness!
I know. Either that, or people will just start paying for music again. That'll make it really, really useful, or a really, really sure way.
I thought people are paying for music again. Isn't that the whole reason iTunes is worth $1 billion or something? Because there are all these people out there who don't mind paying like $1 per song or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I do other stuff.
I don't really listen to music. Yeah. I don't buy it. Don't listen to it. Yep.
So, I was at the hardware workshop last weekend. And
you gave a presentation or something?
Not really. So my company helped sponsor it. Supply Frame helped sponsor it, so I got to talk for that. But I was mostly there just kind of watching and interacting with people.
Right.
It was...
So they fly you around the country to interact with people?
Yeah, that's part of it. But yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if it was interesting, actually. Like, the part that was different for me was like, I was like going in expecting like talking circuits with people and everything else, and it like, out of like probably 80 to 100 people there, maybe 10 built their own electronics. Like, it was, it's just...
really?
Yeah, well, I expected like hardware.
So who the hell was there?
Well, like a lot of software
it's a hardware
people.
Conference. Right.
Yeah, I mean, people that are building hardware companies or interested in starting to build hardware companies.
Well,
but
I hope not.
Why?
I hope they're not building hardware companies and have no interest in hardware.
Well, no. I didn't say they weren't interested in hardware. They just hadn't. They don't build it themselves, right? I expected like hardware engineers, right? People that were.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I'd expect at a hardware seminar.
Yeah, but
silly us.
Well, yeah, and this is more about like this was a lot of the mechanics behind starting companies and stuff like that, and a lot of the questions about getting funding.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it was an interesting mix of people, and there were some people there that had done electronics, but it just was not. I guess I always just kind of have my view on the world, like, why wouldn't everyone do electronics? And
yeah, exactly.
Apparently, though, that's why our listenership isn't the entire world.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I did get to meet the Bolt guys. I had met Chris before, one of the guys, but Ben Einstein,
Bolt guys?
the other Bolt. They're a hardware accelerator out of Boston. I think we mentioned.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was cool. It was good. It was good getting to meet a lot of people and seeing a lot of perspectives, but ultimately different than I would have thought. So I don't know.
Right. Are you going to Maker Faire?
I am not going to Maker Faire. Are you going to Maker Faire?
Well, no, because it's 15,000 kilometers, 16,000 kilometers away. But for you, it's only like 400 k's or something.
What if I could get a ticket? I could probably get a ticket for the weekend, huh?
Yeah.
No, I got stuff going on this weekend. I can't go. But you're all pumped because there's some news about that, huh?
Well, yes and no.
Sort of pumped.
Altium in the... Okay, yes, Altium have a booth there.
Okay.
And yes, I have announced, yes, they will be showing their new Maker PCB package there.
So have they announced anything officially with this, or is it all just through the Dave grapevine?
No, it's through the Dave grapevine at the moment, but in the coming days before Maker Faire, obviously, they will be making an official announcement of some description.
You realize this makes you like a PR agent, right?
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Oh, Dave, we've changed so much. We've changed.
Oh, yeah. No, but, I like, and Altium's like, keeping up with what Altium's doing is just a perverse hobby, for not only me, but for many people in the industry.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Well, see, anyone who's been using Altium from day one, same as me, right? They all think the same way, and they all have the same morbid fascination with what Altium is going to do
What's
or
coming
screw
next.
up next.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. and it was all sounding really good. And but of course, in true Altium fashion, at the 11th hour, they may have screwed the pooch.
Well, let's have it. You have a list of stuff, and this is... Well,
there's a list of stuff,
let the people
but the only
decide,
one
right?
that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the only one that matters, and as I told them on my call with them yesterday, is that this will make or break whether or not this thing is a success at all. It's cloud. It's a Windows program, operates on your machine, but you can't store your files locally. They have to be stored in the cloud. And so they've gone whole hog. They've really taken this whole cloud maker thing to heart. And, yep. What's your opinion on that? Is it going to sink or swim?
Dude, sink. Come on. You know it, too. You know it in your heart. Come on. Now, it doesn't mean they can't turn around and turn that off. They can always change it in the future. But if that's the case...
No. See, this is not the final thing, right? It's basically alpha at the moment, right?
Yeah.
They're going into beta testing, right? At the fair, they're going to sign up beta testers, right? And the program, and I have every confidence that they're genuine about they want the community to give them feedback on this, and they're going to shape the program to what the community wants, as long as it doesn't, As long as it's not bad for Altium, of course. You know,
Right,
they
of
can't
course,
just,
of
oh,
course.
everything's totally free. There you go. You know, like, yeah, right. There are limits, but yeah, they want feedback. So nothing is set in stone at the moment. But as it stands, no, you cannot save your files, and there is no at the moment paid option to, you know, add that feature to be able to work locally and save your files locally. So it's all in the cloud, and yeah, I can't help but think it's more likely to fail than not. Let's put it that way.
In the current form, I would
Based
say
on
so.
that.
But
I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of people who don't care, right? There's going to be a lot of non-diehards like us who just, what? Stored in the cloud? Yeah. So? That's, you know, normal.
Yeah, it's how it's done these days,
What's
right.
the problem? You know? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, but I don't know how many people they're going to pick up. But if they want that core crowd like they really want, they can't have this. You know, they've got to, you know, and I've put in a suggestion as to, you know, they can actually compromise in this area. There's two ways they can compromise, and I've suggested that, but whether or not they, you know, take it on board is another thing. Because you can simply have like a paid option, right? Just like everything else in the program is going to be like a paid app model, right? If you need extra layers, okay, you can pay, you know, X amount of money for 3 months, and bang, you get, you know, your extra features. And so they could do the same thing. If you're really paranoid and you want to save your files locally or work offline, okay, that can be a extra.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, I suppose.
Why not? Take people's money, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
So, yeah. Anyway. But for me, that's actually the most innovative thing about this new software is this app model of renting the features.
I do agree.
Right?
No, I definitely do agree about that.
Yep.
So here's my question, though. The question that, of
shoot.
course, I'm going to ask. Okay, so you said doesn't have push and shove, multi-channel. It doesn't have size restrictions, but it does, or doesn't have total, or doesn't have layer restrictions, but it does have something else or whatever else.
Well, I'll tell you their thinking there, right? Their thinking is that they have to differentiate their high-end product, right? This is a one-product
dilemma,
company.
is that right?
They've got...
We can't cannibalize from one to...
Yeah, you can't cannibalize, right?
Right, that's
Because
innovators'
this is a one-product
dilemma.
company, right? $70 million in sales. They have one product, basically, right? And they have to protect that. So they've got to differentiate it in some way. And the way they're going to differentiate it is that they will take out some of the things that make Altium Designer more productive for your professional design layout person, right? So, yeah, this new Maker software will be easier to use, but it won't be as efficient to do things as Altium Designer. So if your job every day is laying out boards,
right,
you know,
of course.
you're probably going to want to fork out the extra. That's their thinking, and you know, I have no major problem with that. You know, it isn't a bad way to go. So anyway, your question was, you had a... No?
Well, I guess my sales pitch is, you know, for like a week or two, you can use KiCad forever and ever and free. And I mean, it's not hard. It's not great, and it's not perfect, but it's like, it also sure as hell ain't this. So I will not be switching. I don't think that there was any hope for them in the first place on that one.
No, I probably wouldn't. I'll try it because I'm totally curious about how it works. You know, and try and shape it. See, but that's the thing. I mean, if you don't like it, but you really want, you know, a low cost version of Altium, then get in the beta program, and you may be able to, you know, change Altium's mind on this. So, you know, but I think that's the only showstopper. The only showstopper is that you can't work offline and save local, right? It needs to be connected to the cloud.
Pretty big, Dave.
I know.
That's pretty big.
It sucks. It sucks. And it'll sink or swim them. Odds on, sink.
Sink. It's so weird. We mentioned this a little bit before the show we started recording, but like this is kind of like the opposite of Obdurate, right? Where the tools are in the cloud, and then you can actually. I mean, they keep the designs in the cloud too, but you can you can pull the files local if you want to, and you can
pull the files local, and it's in an open file format or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. I know. Yeah, it's silly. Why have a local program, that has all the advantages of being a local program? The speed, the availability, everything else, right? And then tie it to the cloud. Absolutely insist that you can't use it unless it's plugged in, and you have to continually save the files to the cloud. So you need that reliable internet connection in order to keep saving.
I know why. Because China.
Why? What?
Right? So that they actually...
Why? No?
So, I mean, Altium has a huge footprint in China, right? We're using pirated tools.
Yep.
You now give them a better option, and then you try and pull people in towards that, towards the ecosystem. Whereas before, it's all decoupled.
But they just continue to use their pirated version of Altium Designer, so nothing changes.
Well, maybe
there.
if you offer other stuff though too, so, like updates.
No, they'll just continue to use the pirated version of Altium Designer.
Yeah, maybe.
I can assure you. Yeah, no, I can't see anyone in China switch into this.
Well, maybe Altium raised $60 million to make a better decision.
They had to pay some consultant.
That's right.
They're paying me.
Dave's available.
Give me the $60 million, and I'll tell you exactly what to do to save you.
To hire Dave as CEO of Altium. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
Well,
free beer for everyone.
I was just thinking about it. I actually have something going on next weekend. Maybe I can try and squeeze in a trip to New York and go bug them.
Right.
I'm gonna check my calendar. We'll see.
Anyway, yeah. So, anyway, they'll be announcing this in the next couple of days or something, and there'll be a site, there'll be a website. And as soon as that's up, I will let everyone know. And, then you'll be able to go and see and play with it at, their stand at the fair. Yeah. So go to the World Maker Fair if you want to check it out.
Yeah. Well, the other reason I'm thinking is, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, oh, shit. So the thing I've been doing, the thing that I've been talking about but not talking about in the past couple months, it's actually, it's in alpha now as well. So this Altium stuff's in alpha beta, but...
it's basically in alpha, yeah.
Yeah, so my thing's in alpha now as well, and I'm looking for people to help test. So maybe I'll announce it here. Is that cool? I don't know.
That's cool.
Sound too
this
commercial.
Is a supply frame thing.
This is my part-time supply frame, but I'm really excited about it because, because I'm a nerd. But it's basically a brand new search engine.
The world needs another search engine.
Hey, Chris, 1998 called. They want their idea back. I did a presentation with that in it this week. It sounds so dumb, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be called Alta Vista.
Yeah, right.
Alta Vista 2 or something.
Yeah.
Alta Vista Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Electronics Components 2 Electric Boogaloo. There we go. Or no, it'd be Google 2. Google 2 Electric Boogaloo. Have you seen that movie? Do you know what that is?
I've seen it. Yeah,
I own it. I own Breakin' and Breakin' 2.
You own. Well, it wasn't called Breakin' here. It was called Breakdance. It was called Breakdance. So in the US market, it's called because they often rename movies in different areas.
Market testing and crap like that.
Yeah. And they rename it.
Breakdance. No, it's Breakin'. Yeah. It's one of the most amazing. If people have never seen it, we might have mentioned it because I think you've told me that before. Yeah.
We've mentioned it before.
But we should bring it up again. It is amazing.
Very cool 80s movie. Yep.
It's
good. Yeah. Near the start, look for a cameo by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's right, in a onesie.
In a onesie.
Yeah, we definitely brought this up before, but it's so worth mentioning. We can mention this every episode. It's still worth it.
I know, it's great.
Cult classic.
Anyway, there is so the first one's really actually quite good.
Yeah.
In a kind of 80s cheesy kind of way. It's, it's really, I mean, fantastic dancing and all the rest of it. Not that I'm into dancing, but I can certainly appreciate the skill, right? And and then they did Breakdance to Electric Boogaloo.
Breakin' 2.
Sequel.
Breakin' 2.
Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, and
Adolfo Shabadoo Quinones
right?
and Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers. Those are the two main actors.
who have gone on to fame and fortune. You know.
They actually were. They taught MJ how to dance. They taught Michael Jackson a bunch of moves.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So I'm working on a search engine. Yeah, it's basically built for engineers though. That's kind of the thing. It's a new like parametric search engine. Lots of graphs for kind of comparing data.
What? Sorry, I just woke up. Huh?
I know, snooze fest, right? But no, it's great, man. It's like all of the stuff that I've bitched about for like years and years. It's like I get to fix it now, sort of. So
Right. So was this your idea? Is this your baby or?
It was not my initial idea, but this is what I've kind of moved into based on my initial ideas. So
right. Got
yeah.
it. So it kind of is a bit of your baby.
Oh yeah. I mean, so yeah. I mean, the first experience that we crafted to say douchey software type stuff, but basically, like the first thing that's optimized is op amps. I'm like, we got to fix op amps.
Right. Yeah.
Because finding op amps sucks, right? I mean, so. Yep. So
Okay,
there's
cool.
alpha, and I'll be demoing it and stuff like that. And
I've signed up, but nothing's happened.
Yeah,
so.
You can see if people go to parts.io, it's parts.io/alpha. You can see some screenshots and stuff like that, and there's sign up on there. So it's pretty good. I like it, and
Excellent.
I'll talk about it, but not too much on the show in the future, just because it's for engineers. That's what I'm really excited about it for. It's like. To be honest, it sounds like Altium didn't really consult too many people doing layout when they did their tool, if I may be so bold.
Well, they did. I think it's going to be like an excellent tool. I like pretty much everything else in there.
Yeah.
Right? It's, especially the community aspect stuff to it. It's very, I think they're probably going to lead the pack there.
Okay.
In that sort of area. Yeah, the only thing that's going to sink it is this lack of ability to work offline and save locally. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And of course, the fact that it does actually work.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's not
free is
bug-ridden and
powerful,
all
right? I mean,
sort of
that alone, free is powerful.
Oh yeah, no, free. They'll have thousands sign up, right? Even if they do keep this silly restriction in, they'll get thousands signing up. But I hope that but whether or not they stick around and actually, actually contribute stuff. See, because people are just going to look out of sheer morbid curiosity.
Yeah, right.
And they don't actually have any intention because they know that it's they can't work locally or something.
Right.
They've got some.
Well,
beef
there's always
with,
just big switching costs, even if it's useful and a good tool.
Yeah.
If you're using something else, that's a big deal. So like even like the Eagle to KiCad folks, like people say they use Eagle, and I'm like, well, if you get sick of it, come talk to me. Otherwise, it's like I don't have time to explain to people why it's better, and it's like people just kind of have to make that decision on their own. So usually it's best to go after the newest users first. And that's
every tool is usable if you put the effort into to learn it.
right. Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
no tool's necessarily, hugely better. Well, it can be hugely better than another. But if you're used to something, then and you're productive in it, then why change?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
Yeah. They have to offer compelling stuff, to get you to change over. So.
Yeah. So I actually, when I was out in San Francisco, I also got to meet the Seed Studio folks. I had never met them before.
Oh, right.
Yeah. They were great. I mean, they were just kind of in the U.S. touring around.
I thought they were in China.
They are. That's where they are. They're in China, but I think they might be opening a U.S. office soon. But they were, just came by, and I got to talk with them. But the thing that was interesting to me is that they started an open parts library. Have you ever heard about that?
Right. I've got it open here somewhere.
Okay, so you've heard about it now. So, but the idea is basically
I've heard about it now.
Yeah. So the idea is kind of like they can optimize cost if you start to use certain parts, basically, because they have them on the shelf. They have them on, maybe even on loaders, and then basically if you push a design to them, you can kind of save costs that way because you're not. Because it's hard when you're finding new components.
They don't have to order new parts because they're always going to restock these, right? They're always going to restock these parts.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of loading costs are, right? So if you look at like a circuit hub, right? So that was the same kind of idea that Andy talked about when he was on the show.
Yep.
But basically to try and optimize for certain parts. Now, this is kind of on the other end coming in from the design side. If you use these parts, and, for a lot of designs, it's what you need, right? I mean, like, 1 microfarad 25-volt X7R caps, right? 0805.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah, right.
Bingo.
It's just generic.
Right.
They probably get good deals on it, and it works, and it's proven. And that's...
Yep.
I mean, that's a good way to do it. And this is
totally.
how a lot of companies do it too, right? Where you're going to have, like if you're at a company, you have a parts library already set to go. You know what's on the shelves. You're trying to minimize overhead. And because it's also about, thinking about that same thing, it's also about how many times you have to put it through a pick and place, right? Pick and place can be anywhere from 20 to 40 reels, or more, right? But, there is a limited number of loaders you can put onto a single pick and place machine. And so if you have a machine that can do 40 different loaders, even if you pay that setup cost for a brand new design, and then you put 41 different parts on the board, no matter what, you just jumped over that gap to the next loader. And then you have another bunch of setup costs there, and that really stinks. So this is great.
Do they have associated libraries with these?
I thought I
so
saw
you can just pull them straight into Eagle or KiCad or something like that.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have the OPL Eagle library. So.
Oh right, okay. So so it's
right, which is
Eagle
great too
only.
for people that because they're really targeting like
KiCad
makers and stuff and bringing that
totally.
stuff in. I did hear rumor that in new versions of KiCad you can just drop stuff from Eagle into it, which I was a little skeptical of. But
right.
Maybe
interesting.
I don't know. But yeah, right. I think this is a great idea, especially because they do target the the same kind of market, and if you don't, it's obviously I work on component stuff now too, and but unless you're doing something with like resistors and capacitors and stuff like that, like most of the time you don't really give a crap, right? It's like, I really love AVX over Yagio over whoever else.
It's like, you just don't care.
Just make sure it's right.
You don't even bother putting it in your BOM. You don't even bother specifying the manufacturer or part number. You just put in 0603, 1%, 1K.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's really. I mean, then and then you send it to a CM, and they do. They probably are going to have standard values stocked anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's always and then the other thing that's interesting with like values too is when you start looking at the optimization that you can get from. Say you need a 1.3K resistor. Well, what kind of combinations can you do with 1Ks and 10Ks to actually, even if you take more space on the board, you get fewer loads, and then you can start to really...
It can actually be cheaper.
Yeah. And I think you point that out when you see it in your design sometimes, don't you? I think I've seen you do that.
Yes, I have.
So, I mean, and that's just good design practice. That's really optimizing for manufacturing, right? I mean, that's...
Yep.
So this is a nice introduction to that stuff, and...
Totally. Does Seed Studio just do assembly, or do you have to sell through them?
I don't know that. I think a lot of people do sell through them, but I don't.
Right.
My main usually the example that I think of is Dangerous Prototypes, right? So Ian and his team, I think they sell exclusively through Seed.
Yes, I believe they do.
But
they did last time I checked.
I don't know actually. I mean, maybe it'd be like you can like send it off to a distributor like Marcus's, like Little Bird, right? Maybe you could send them stuff, but that would probably be. I have no idea. So.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting just to see, thinking like 300 components or so too. Like, well, how many designs can you possibly make with that? It's like, well, you can make quite a bit of stuff with 300 individual parts, right? I mean, like.
Yeah,
there really is a lot of interesting stuff in there. So
well, they've only got 4 microcontrollers. They've got a couple of AT megas, and they've got a looks like an NXP arm or something, or a small NXP arm or something like that. And
right, yeah, I mean, really,
they've got a few voltage regulators, and
I mean, this is going to be like around like the Arduino, style products, right, where there's a lot of volume. So
yeah, that's right.
But it's still, I mean, if you're looking to get stuff made, that's pretty cool. They also showed. What's the other thing they showed? It was like it was a 3G Arduino shield. I'm sure they're going to show all this stuff off at Maker Faire too. Maybe that's why they were in town.
Right.
I probably should have asked better questions, but
it's only your job, Chris.
Yeah, right. It's not like a member of the media or anything.
Dude, you even have your own trade show booth.
I know, right? Oh, geez. I'm not representing the brand
program.
well, Dave.
Oh, goodness.
I was thinking I need to print up new like business cards, and I'm like, I got to put a lot of logos on there.
Dude, what you need is one of those 6-foot cardboard cutouts like I've got. They're great.
That's a good idea. Just send that to the trade show.
Yeah.
Where did I see?
I'm telling you, they're hugely popular. Yeah, big cardboard cutout.
I was at an office and they had one of those things, and like the lights were kind of dim, and I like looked back quickly, and I was like, who's that? Because it's like it's like the right it's the right profile, and you think someone's standing behind you.
And your mind has been programmed through evolution to like actually detect faces and movement, faces and actually, forms and shapes and bodies. And every time, even though the cardboard cutout is in the room, your mind just goes, and you suddenly turn around and, there's someone there. No, there's not.
Right.
Even though it's there.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Have some adrenaline.
Darn evolution.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Yep.
So,
So there you go. That's terrific. Open parts life. But people don't know that any subcontract assembler will likely have a list like this. They will be able to tell you what they regularly keep in stock.
Yes, correct.
And if you get, made through a subcontractor, you can actually, add your part, or any reasonable size contract manufacturer will, and they'll, you can actually design your product around the parts that they have available and sitting on the machine and all preloaded and all that sort of jazz.
Actually, I would love to know that too. If people do have lists like that, that would be a great kind of like wiki-style article to start. You have a wiki, right, Dave, on the EEV blog?
Yeah.
So that'd be a great kind of thing to start over there.
I rarely use it, but it's there.
Okay.
Yep. But then it's specific to a particular manufacturer, though.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's what people assess when they go to CMs as well, right? Or whatever all the different ones are.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
I mean, usually I think convenience is probably, people that are doing prototype level stuff are usually convenience first, but, having those lists is nice. I don't know.
But I find myself always working on projects where, this thing just doesn't, apart from your basic resistors, your basic capacitors, maybe some diodes and transistors, and, if you use an LM358 or something, 7805, okay, you can have those, but everything else is like, no, it's going to be custom. They aren't going to have that in stock. They aren't going to have that loaded on their machine.
Right. No, I agree with that. And that's tough too. If you do keep it in a separate library.
Every man and his dog seems to be making an Arduino shield.
Well, that's the market they're targeting too, right? So that's kind of what they're hoping for.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you said, with these 100 parts here, you can actually make quite a wide variety of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, it's good.
One part they don't have on there is a part that I am interested in.
Is this Chip of the Week?
Chip of the Week, yes. Let's go ahead and ring the bell. Note to self, we need a bell.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ding. But basically, this is in that same range of like the LDC 1000 came out a while ago. I think we talked about it, right?
Did we?
Yeah, it was like it's basically like a resonant LC circuit with the built-in analog to digital converter.
Right.
And basically, TI is doing the same thing, but now they're doing it with CapSense as well, and basically using it as like a bunch of this isn't meant for CapSense like for like a screen or something like that, but more environmental sensors or sensors like that. So like when you can kind of have a node where you want to know the capacitance to a general ground, and then being able to sense that for is stuff there kind of thing, right? So as someone walks into an area or fluid flows into an area, that kind of thing. So
got it.
Pretty interesting. I mean, basically, it's like this is like, it's like replacing your analog person.
Right.
It's I think I'm allowed to say that now. I mean, these are the kind of things that like I would have designed 5 years ago. Like basically.
Aren't you glad you quit and took that job?
Yeah, now I'm a software person.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there was no future in it at all.
No, I mean there is though. But this is basically, it's just a consolidation, right? I mean, like this is
right.
Whereas before you might have had an excitation circuit that you built and you had to switch in and you had to normalize for. Now you might not need to do that for simpler stuff. For really precise stuff, you still do need to do that, right? That's the kind of thing that you'll see, is that like there will be limited specifications because they're putting it all on the same piece of silicon and stuff like that. Like if you have like a higher power circuit on board, you might not be able to use the right process to get a good DAC or a good ADC, that kind of thing. Usually, okay. I think with these kind of parts, they usually use a process that's probably already normalized for an ADC. So it might be good DAC and good ADC, but it might not be, super low resistance FETs or something like that.
Right. So, got it.
But yeah, cool stuff. I mean, like basically easy ways to get more sensor data to an MCU, and like I said in the past, when we've had the LDC 1000 I think is listed on the site, basically, I kind of see these in the short term. I always see people using, basically hooking them up to like a Bluetooth sensor and hooking to a phone, right? That's like the Insta Kickstarter.
Got it. I
don't know. I saw someone using a dev kit that I'd used in the past, and basically like, this is an open source schematic now. And it was like an open source circuit, and I'm like, well, does that make it open source if you're just kind of republishing what they already did? Like,
yeah, right.
I mean, I guess, but it kind of was when they gave you the circuit too, and
yeah, exactly. Because by definition, app circuits and app nodes are open source,
right? They want you to copy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's been that way for since before all of us were born.
Yeah, right. Because they don't just use their one branded part and then use other people's stuff. They're using everything theirs, right? They're putting the linear regulator is theirs, and the switching circuit is theirs, and the FETs are theirs, and yada 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 on down the line. They want you to cut and paste. I saw a thing. I don't know if we mentioned on the show, but I remember seeing a thing that like something like 60 to 80% of all cell phone designs are just reference designs now too. Like basically the manufacturer will just grab the ref design and just drop it in there and not change a thing.
And 48% of all stats are bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln said, don't believe anything you hear on the internet.
That doesn't surprise me at all because, it's a collection of off-the-shelf chips. Of course it is. The engineering is in the the value add is in the physical form factor and the firmware and the general user experience. Yeah.
Yep. The design.
Of course, it's pretty much off the shelf app. I mean, yeah.
Because
the technology's so advanced, you can't just roll your own.
Well, you could, but you're going to have losses along the way.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you're going to need to filter so much, like you'll need to characterize parts so much that you'll spend a bunch of money doing that, whereas the fab gets to do it automatically based on testing. Speaking of designs using off-the-shelf things, did you see this teardown of the super or the batteries from the Tesla?
the Tesla, that's very cool. Yes, if you haven't seen it, folks, go out there and check it out. That is awesome.
I was looking at it and I'm like,
of course I saw it. I was the one who added it to the list, dude.
Oh, you were? Oh, yeah, okay. Dave does this sometimes. He does it for real. For realsies.
Because, like everyone knows how super secretive this battery pack is, right? It's Tesla's core technology, right? It's the thing that sets them apart from everyone else, And this guy just bought one at a salvage auction.
Yeah.
So I guess they must have, there was an accident with a Tesla and he just bought the battery pack. And he decided, well, screw Tesla, I'm going to tear it down, Right. And he even posted it on Tesla. Well, no, he posted it to the Tesla Club forum.
Yeah, right.
No, which is actually Tesla. Oh, well, I don't know if it's officially.
It's probably sanctioned, but
their
not
official
run
forum.
By, right?
Right.
They're allowed to use the brand at least, so.
Okay. Right, okay. They're allowed to put the logo on the website, on the forum.
Yeah.
Anyway, he just, and he was very careful to say, this is not endorsed by Tesla and, blah, blah, blah. So, I think he even mentioned if they sue me, fine. But anyway,
the
he
crazy
tore
thing
it
to
and
me
it's a
is just like we've heard about this before, right? The big thing was they used off the shelf lithium ion cells.
They use 18650 lithium ion cells. Yeah,
18650. I didn't know that was the number of it. Okay,
18650 is a standard size that's used in everything these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I never designed anything with batteries. That's another thing I realized recently.
Right. Okay.
I'm like, oh,
there you go.
I should do that.
No.
It's way easier when you don't use batteries. Batteries suck. But I didn't quite until I scrolled down. I'm like, what are all those little knobby things? And I'm like, holy crap, those are all individual cells. That's a lot. Like that is a ton of stuff. That is.
It is a lot of cells. Yeah. And do you see like the individual fusing wires going from each cell to like a big bus plate?
Yeah, so like the really thin ones, right? You're talking about?
Yeah.
So I was wondering about what happens. So it's a fusing wire. So that's if like you have an overvoltage event on a battery, it just blows and pops.
If a cell fails, excess current goes through the cell, it breaks the connection to it, and bang, it just takes itself out of the circuit.
Right, but aren't they all in series though? I mean, like that's what I was thinking about. Do they have like?
They look a bunch of parallel buses to me. Looks like a bunch of.
Well, but the voltage is 400 volts, so it's got to stack up at some point.
It's a lot. Yes, so they would have strings. So yeah, it probably takes out a whole string, right?
That'd be terrible. So, what I was really thinking of was because when Bob was on the show, when Bob Simpson was on the show,
but there's like 500 strings in this thing or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, there's
but that's still a lot to lose, though, right? That's a lot of capacity
at least
to
100.
lose.
Well, it's maybe one 100th of your capacity, and it's a fail-safe thing, so it's not a huge amount to lose. If it happens all the time, yes, but this is designed for some gross overload.
Well, what I was thinking about was when Bob was on the show, he talked about because remember Bob designed his own stuff.
Yeah.
And he talk about something with because when you recharge, don't you have to have individual monitoring on each cell so that you don't?
You have to have individual. Yeah, if they're in series, yes, the battery management system will have a floating voltage measurement across each cell. That's how it works.
Okay. But then he had a bypass FET, didn't he? Didn't he have that too? That's what I was thinking about.
You can have a bypass FET in there. Maybe they have that. I don't know.
Okay.
How this Tesla one works.
Okay, so tear down good, schematic better. So try better next time, guy. Or put your schematic on their Tesla, right?
And their PCB doesn't look terribly artistic. It's okay.
Yeah.
But we've got some news there.
Oh, is this official news?
Yeah, it's official. He's mentioned it on the forum.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
What is this news?
He has mentioned it on the forum. Former guest, Vincent Hempy. He has...
marathoner, the amp-hour marathoner.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. He has quit his day job, and he's got himself another day job where they'll no doubt work him to the bone, but he's now the head PCB designer at Tesla Motors.
Which is awesome.
Awesome. Yes. Well done, Vincent. And I've heard the story of how he got the job, and it's quite good. Yeah. I've told you, didn't I?
Yeah, you told me about it,
Yeah. And, anyway, he might...
well, what we're hoping for is that he comes on the show at some point and he's allowed to talk about it. But
tells us,
we're not going to hold our breath.
Exactly. So anyway, he thoroughly impressed them, and they went, you want to be our head PCB designer? I'm not sure why they didn't have one. Or maybe, Anyway. So, yes. Awesome, Vincent. Well done.
Yeah.
And
very
enjoy working your ass off because that's what they do there at Tesla.
But for a very good cause.
But I'm sure that's, but that's his style, right? He's going to thoroughly enjoy that, being challenged.
I wonder how they make the frame for this thing, too. Like, this thing looks like it's, solid steel. I wonder if it's, it can't be milled. It must be,
Is it a big die-cast alloy thing?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because that's, the big part, too, right? They're actually getting, the framing and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at that. I didn't look at the extended pictures. The grounding wire is amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like it's
It looks like the top is machined on it. Looks like the top is machined, maybe.
Like the cover,
I don't know, I'm
the
not
cover
very
piece?
good with... Yeah, like the...
That might be stamped.
Right, could be stamped. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, this is the big thing
Anyway.
they talk about, because remember they were talking about, there was all that complaining about, oh, there's Tesla fires, and there was like 3 fires, and everybody was all up in arms, and then Musk was like,
Which was bullshit, of course.
How many car fires are there a year, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, I mean, like, looking at, I'm about like almost to the bottom of the extended pictures page, and there's a really nice picture of the frame, and it looks like it's one contiguous piece. It could be wrong. It could be welded too. I don't know. But
Right.
man, that's bonkers. Oh, he has an
Yep.
oh, he empties it all out. Okay.
There's an extended pictures page?
Yeah, down towards the bottom. He didn't want to load down. There's a second page, I guess. So
Oh, okay. Right.
gets even better, Dave. Even better.
Oh, right. Oh, I've only looked at his first post.
Yeah.
Oh, more pics here. Oh, right. Yeah,
Yep,
it's
yep.
in big red hyperlink text. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Right,
make sure that
here we
everybody goes and checks that out, because that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah,
have a
it is
look.
kind of crazy when you think about that, though, right? I mean, like, so it's like there's the control electronics for the motor, and there's the electronics inside
Yep.
the car, and then the battery pack, and what else is there? Brakes? I mean, I guess there's braking systems and HVAC, but like,
Oh, there's tons of stuff. There'd be hundreds of boards inside a Tesla. Hundreds.
but I'm just saying, like, in terms of total systems, right? You don't need to, like, well, I guess I don't really know. I just think about, like, car computers, right? I mean, like, you have so many more things to monitor, you know, just on a single engine. You have to, like, monitor timing and all that other stuff, especially as they try and push towards, like, these efficiency standards. I think it was, like, 2020 in the United States, they're supposed to have 50 miles per gallon per car.
Right.
So,
Okay. Right.
or kilometers per liter. I don't know how many. Go to Wolfram Alpha to find that one out.
Oh, I just see the giant shunt in here.
No.
The giant shunt
Which
with
one?
this big copper cable stamped into one end of it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking. I thought that was grounding.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh, right. No. That's current shunt. That's where they measure the battery pack.
Oh,
the
holy
entire
crap,
battery
you're
pack.
right. There's a monitor board
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there's a monitor board on
Holy
it.
crap.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, and you know how much current shunts cost, too. I wonder if they just did it on the raw copper based on the copper.
Oh yeah. They've machined that themselves, because once you get, once you actually calibrate it, once you stamp it, well, in fact, what you do is you just stamp it out, and then you calibrate in software, and as long as your stamping machine process for that shunt bar is fairly consistent, then you're going to have the same value. Within, I'm sure they only need 5% or something. I'm sure they don't need
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I guess they
huge
can
tolerance
measure that
on
on the windings and all that other crap, too, when it's actually delivered to the engine. That kind of thing, like if it's
Right, but
overcurrent or something. That's crazy. What do you
Anyway.
think? So what do you think a current shunt like that would be, like, value-wise? Like low milliohms? Less than that? Like...
oh, right. By
Micro-ohms?
definition, it has to be. Just,
Well, yeah,
just
power
do the math.
equation, right, yeah.
It has to be
I-squared
down
R.
in the micro ohms. Well, how much does this? What's the spec on this pack? I don't know. It'd be 100. Well, I
It's 85
know the
kilowatt hours.
charging. The charging is hundreds of amps, right, on the super fast.
Oh,
charger.
right. Yep, yeah. Yeah, we've talked
Right,
about that
so it's
before.
going to be, so it's going to be hundreds of amps. So 250 amps. You're only going to want, although it's a high voltage pack, right? So you can probably tolerate, a bit of drop on there. So it's not like you have to have 0.01 volts drop or something, But hey, even if you got 250 amps at a volt drop, there's 250 watts, right? Just in your
Right.
right. So you're going to want like one, you're going to want 2 orders of magnitude. You're only going to want, say, 5 watts, 10 watts in that shunt, maybe, right? So
Let's see. So 200
it's
amps
not-
would be 200 squared, right? So that's 40,000. So whatever that would be, it'll
Yep.
be maybe you could burn a watt or two. You'd probably 1 to 10 watts maybe in
Yeah.
there. So whatever that would be.
Yep. It's
I mean, I'm sure this thing could handle heat. It's a big chunk of copper, but you probably would want to,
right.
Wow, that's crazy. Speaking of estimations, there was a awesome video. I've actually never seen video. I think I saw a speech once, but it was a really old one. But Randall Munroe's new book, What If?
Right.
My friend got it. He said it's amazing. I haven't read it yet, but
Yep.
he actually talks about like estimations and like how the whole What If thing started. What If being like a sector of XKCD. It's these ridiculous
Hang on.
questions.
I've done some calculations. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Assuming it's 250 amps,
Okay.
and it's 1 milliohm shunt resistance, that's still 62.5 watts power dissipation.
Yeah, that sounds right. 60, yeah, because it's 62,000 amps squared, right? And then times resistance.
Yep. So you can do ballpark figures. Yeah, so it's going to be less than that. So it's going to be down in the hundreds of micro, it's probably like 100 microohms or something like that, would be my guess. It's going to be I'd expect order of magnitude lower than that. So probably 100 microohm shunt.
Yeah. No, that's good though. I mean, that's the kind of like order of magnitude stuff that you want to do, right? I mean, that's the back of the napkin calculation, right? And Randall Munroe talked about that too. Basically, that's all I wanted to point out. But other than the book being awesome and Randall Munroe being awesome, but he was talking about like just the order of magnitude calculations and how actually the thing he mentioned was that it was developed in a pre-internet age, right? It was when he was sitting in class before there was Wi-Fi or Google.
I actually watched this, yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah. And I mean, it's true, right? It's like, okay, well, I think just people will have a harder time. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it won't be a big deal because there will be so much available calculations and stuff. But I think it's nice to have that ability. I've struggled with it. But
it's good.
It's good to be able to make those quick calculations, just to like a sanity check.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of orders of magnitude in engineering. Am I close enough? Am I in the ballpark?
Right.
And the ballpark is times 10.
Yeah.
Are you within a tenth or times 10?
Yep. Yeah.
That's why they call order of magnitude.
Yep.
There you go.
Cool, man.
We're 10 minutes over.
We are.
That's our show.
Yeah, we got through. That's good.
I think I goofed up I absolutely goofed up the calculation there at the start of the our talk on that shunt there.
What about?
I'm pretty sure I got Ohm's law wrong.
What, I squared R? You talking about power?
I was thinking, in terms of voltage.
Yeah,
I think I got it wrong. I think I goofed it up.
That's okay, man.
Yeah.
I guarantee I've done that on the show before. So.
We are design professionals.
We are professionals, folks. We demand to be taken seriously.
Try doing a show at the same time, and because your mind's always thinking about, like it's actually not that easy to, well, no, it's fairly easy to do, but you're going to make mistakes when you're doing shows like this, or when I'm doing my video blog, and I'm doing the off the cuff thing, all these sorts of things, they always happen. All these mistakes creep in because your mind is not focused. Your mind is, wandering off on something else.
Yeah.
So, or focused on the, trying to say something half intelligent, and you just miss all that finer details you normally wouldn't miss when you, when you're just solving a problem and you don't have to perform in quote marks.
Right.
So, Dance, monkey, dance.
That's right, man. Now that we're bona fide with, having a trade show stand in Sydney, the capital of electronics.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll worry when we get to Shenzhen.
Damn straight.
Yeah. All right, man, cool. I'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Catch you next time.